Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex Season 1. We are on episode 18, and in the last episode, another standalone episode, and nothing to really go in depth about, because it was completely just that one episode thing, where I feel like there wasn't much to really go in depth in. It was just a nice episode to just sit back and enjoy and see, Aramaki's sort of just his resourcefulness in a situation where he's considered that, he's the hostage and everything like that, and getting out of that. But we did learn that he did have something of a, not really a marriage, but, there's a relationship there with a woman that he did have that they just had to end up, sort of leaving up in the air because of well, first of all, Aramaki's career, I'd say, is the precedent there. But yeah, so that's basically what I could take away from that episode, is that, that thing that continues on throughout the show. It's like, yeah, we're not going to have Aramaki really, you know what I mean? I don't think he's going to be engaging with other women in the future episodes. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. So we're just going to get in episode 18 right now. So if you do want to go watch the reaction, link is in the description. There's also a link to the full length there. If you do want to watch it in full and not just the 10-minute version, then the offer is there for you. But yeah, going to get in episode 18, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 18. Right, so the bomb thing wasn't real. It wasn't actually a fucking, a kamikaze bomb that, because his first attempt failed, that it was a sort of a second plan in progress to kill the Chinese foreign minister. But it was something that had happened in his head, an actual literal blowing of the mind, mind blowing. You know what I mean? Just funny, because I'm kind of mind blown about that as well, because I was not expecting that. That was a hell of a surprise. So yeah, it wasn't something that actually happened, because I was going to say, how the fuck did anybody walk away from, okay, Kusanagi and Bato, I can give some, I can say that they could possibly walk away from that, despite the fact it was a massive fucking explosion. But, the kid, nah, man. So yeah, I think it must have been due to the fact of, the overload of, taking control of the brain from two different sides. I feel like it must have been that occurred, But yeah, that's Jesus Christ. I feel like aside from that, during the reaction, I pretty much got everything spot on. So in regards to these past two, these two episodes I've watched in this session, yeah, I've done pretty well, I'd say, because a lot of the time watching this show is tough. In one, I guess, in some ways, I feel like I could probably gather more information a bit easier if I was watching the English dub. I don't know how good it actually is of actually portraying everything that's being said or anything like that, but in terms of obviously just straight up understanding, the thing is with this show is that there's so much information coming at you very fast. And generally when that is the case with a English sub, it's hard to pick up stuff when it's, because your mind is thinking to try and correlate things that have happened in past subtitles, but because you're trying to think of what everything is happening from those past ones, it's so easy to kind of just not take in information of the current subtitles that's on the screen. So a lot of the time with this show, I have to literally go back through and take all of these important bits that I may have missed into account. And it's the first show that I've really had to do that consistently throughout it. It's happened in other shows where, for example, Attack on Titan. There's a specific episode, I think it's episode 20 of season 3, where it's like you're just being bombarded with information, you know, and it's hard to take all that in with English subs. So yeah, in past episodes of this show, that's generally been the case. It's like stuff where I literally have, like, the standalone ones are different, I suppose, but primarily with the complex episodes, I generally have to do that. But for these last two, I feel like it was, I pretty much got everything, and I took it in as it was coming. So that was nice to have. I mean, episode 17, like I said, was more sort of being able to sit back and enjoy. There wasn't a lot that I had to take in regards to what's going on here, because really the only thing about that episode that you would have to try and figure out beforehand, even though I think you would kind of struggle, is the police being involved in it. I think you would struggle to picture the police being a part of it until it was actually said by until it was actually revealed that was the case. If you could get it beforehand, then well done. But yeah, in this one, it just seemed like everything was very easy to sort of understand, I suppose, in coming through. I did like the I think the scene where Tsujimaki calls up Aramaki and they are talking. I enjoyed that scene because I think it was cool just seeing. Obviously, it's coming out as his voice. Right, it's coming out as Hideo's voice, I think his name was. But then he's, in regards to, the mother's name was Ritsuko, I think. In regards to that, it's coming through obviously as Hideo's voice, but at one point he says, mom's death. But obviously because it's coming through his, like, Hideo wouldn't refer to, Ritsuko as a mother. You would refer to her as Ritsuko, right? But because obviously the two minds are entangling with each other and, like, vying for control and just being melded together, that, like, it's generally like an interesting concept. I feel like this is something that obviously has been a lot of this does occur in the show. I found, like, where it's the first thing that your mind goes to is, oh, there's somebody else in that body. Like, that's not the person that they look like and say they are is not them. It's whoever they are looking for. Like, it's like they must be in that body. Like, that's the first thing that always comes to my mind when something like this happens. Is just like, it's like as soon as Sayori came up in the graveyard and said, he's looking more like you every day. Like, even the first sentence she said, where it was like, this is why I came to you, because he's starting to, like, look like her father more and more every day. I was like, well, that's the setup then, isn't it? That's the setup, is that it's like he is part of her father is actually there, and it's just another one of those things. Like, my brain immediately goes to it because I feel like it does get brought up a lot, like well, I mean, that's the whole premise of the show, isn't it? Is like the ghost in the shell. So it's like it's the one person inside a shell of the body. The person isn't the body, it's the mind. So a lot of it is like mind transferring into other things or other people and being a part of different, you know what I mean? So it's always that sort of thing. The mystery is always generally revolving around, like, is it the actual person that's doing this? Or is it just somebody in the body of the person that was doing this? So a lot of it is like, if you can relate that back to the complex episodes with the Laughing Man, the guy who does holds the gun up to the guy on the street on the, the weather forecast, whatever it is. Is it that guy? Probably not. It's probably somebody else in his body. You know what I mean? That does, and it's just all this stuff that's just like, oh god, man, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, everything that I really need to talk about, that's pretty much it. The only thing that I wish, I just feel like they're not going to go into it, is the whole thing with the the Vice Minister being responsible for the death of their mother, Ritsuko. Is that pure, like, truth? Like, is that 100% fact? Because then it's just like, damn, he's just gotten away with it, you know, like, and it's shit that that's the case. But then is it the case of like, you know, like just a murder, or is it a case of because they were at war at the time that, you know, like, I don't know, it could have been the case that this vice minister once was also a you know, a soldier at one point, and something he did got Ritsuko killed, you know, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they're bringing up that again, and that, you know, they're bringing up the whole what happened back in the past, and with how old they were, you know what I mean. That, I mean, I don't know exactly how old Aramaki is, but you know, he seems to be getting on a bit. But you know, the idea of like China and Japan have been like back and forth, like at war for like a long time, you know, like that. I think the oldest wars that I can remember even hearing about in history were set around there, you know. It was always like around like, honestly, the amount of shit that went on around China so long ago, a lot of shit has happened over there, you know. But you know, and that's been something that's, I mean, they're kind of all right now, but I'm pretty sure there are still people alive that just have that innate, like, you know, hatred to one another. You know, I bet you that's still like a thing in some people's minds over there. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. Everything that I was writing down was just like, you know, something that could possibly relate to something that I didn't get. But because when I was watching it, I was pretty much getting everything. The only thing I didn't get was the bomb. When I was watching it, and then, you know what I mean, it just turns out that it was not something that legitimately happened. It wasn't an actual bomb. It was more like a mind bomb. But you know, I mean, other than that, yeah, I mean, they talked about, obviously they were in Kagoshima in Kyushu. It's where my friend lives. You know, Kyushu's a beautiful place, man. Really, really nice. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I've got. So yeah, not really much in terms of discussion, I guess, for these last two episodes, but they're standalones, so generally that's not really the case, unless it really goes delving deep into characters and stuff like that. Then you know, there's not much to talk about aside from really what happened in there, because a lot of my discussions come, you know, they're based around crafting theories and everything like that, and when you get a show that just does episode by episode stuff, you know, I'm crafting theories for something that's not going to continue, so it's not even a, you know, like, I guess I can do it for the overall world in which, you know, Ghost in the Shell is, you know, inhabited in. It's like, you know, I guess crafting theories between certain relations across the world, and since the show started, there's been some little, like, some things, like, it seems as though, you know, Japan and then the American Empire, whatever, doing, you know, there seems to be a bit like there's things going on there that's just like, you know, like it could just spread out into another world war. Maybe not, but you know, it could be a thing where they can be at odds at each other. You know, Japan and China seems to be all right now, you know. I mean, Aramaki and that the actual foreign minister, not the vice one, they seem to be on good terms. But I remember when he cropped up the first time, it was the episode with the hit woman, right? And all that stuff with like the Chinese mafia thing and whatever, or the South Sea mafia, whatever it was. I think it was anyway. When he first showed up, like that time, there was like a little inkling from me, basically wondering if he was involved in something a bit fishy, because I don't know, like there wasn't like any significant proof that he would be involved in anything like that, but I was just like, it's just the way that he seemed, it's the vibe that I got off him. So I don't know if that would be something that would continue on in the future, but you know, if it does, then it does. But yeah, I mean, that's all I've got in terms of discussion. So yeah, I mean, I can't believe how many standalone episodes in a row we've got. Like, I think that's the 7th one in a row. I think because 11 was the last one, right? So it was like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, that's 7 episodes straight of standalone. I mean, you know, not I'm complaining. I enjoy them, but I mean, that means surely we've got to have a complex episode soon, right? We'll see. But yeah, anyway, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. If you do want to get access to episode 19 and 20, right? Yeah, 19 and 20 right now, then you can do it by becoming an early access tier patron. It's $5 a month and you get episodes a week early. There's also the full length if you want to watch any of these in full and not just the 10-minute version. And there is the exclusive tier where you can get access to my movie reactions when I start reacting to movies and everything like that. You know, there's movies coming up that, you know, I'm actually going to start getting into reacting to movies, because obviously the only one that I have done is the My Hero 2 Heroes movie. But you know, I was waiting for Fate Heaven's Feel 3 getting released so that I could literally just watch all the Heaven's Feel movies, you know what I mean, rather quickly. And there's also the My Hero Heroes Rising movie coming out in October, so you know, there's a lot of that stuff. I also want to do, like, you know, reactions to like live action movies and stuff like that, things that I haven't really seen before, you know, so it's all up in the air of what could happen regarding that. But you know, once I get through, you know, a bunch of you know, when I get through like these series and everything like that, and movies start coming around, the pools and everything are going to start coming back, because you know, I haven't had a pool in a while. But I feel like in terms of, you know, what people want, a vast majority, I can at least give them, you know, the opportunity to you know, vote on a show that they want to see, you know. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.